If there's one thing that 2025 needed, it was for me to make a map of a game that is 16 years old. Kind of. Because I didn't actually map the original Shadow Complex from 2009. I have mapped Shadow Complex Remastered, which was, shock horror, a remaster of the 2009 game that came out in 2016. It is an enjoyable mid-tier Metroidvania. But I hadn't played it since 2009, essentially. I'd never actually completed the remaster. I picked it up in 2021, played a bit of it. I think I recorded some of it, but I've no idea where the footage has gone. Could be on a backup hard drive somewhere. And I'd essentially forgotten about it until very recently, where somebody in Metroidvania Guru's Discord mentioned that they were thinking about playing it. It's like, oh yeah, I've got that. I should get back to that at some point. So I did. And 5+ hours of playtime. And some, not entirely sure actually how many hours of map time. Here we go. This is a Blasphemous style map, same way that my Symphony of the Night map and my Super Metroid map and some of my other kind of classic grid-based maps that I've remade. The map actually in Shadow Complex is very, very good. And the entire game is very clearly styled after Super Metroid. So if you want something that is kind of Metroid-like, it's got a little bit of jank to it, it's got a lot of kind of 90s style action movie dialogue. I'm sure, I don't know what the current parlance for is, but a few years ago the kids that I worked with would call it cringe. No idea what they call it these days, because I've not been teaching for the last many months, 12+ months at this point, because of health stuff. So, yeah, this was an enjoyable one to put together, and one of the nice things about Shadow Complex is that the map tells you a lot of stuff. The game tells you how many grenade packs there are. The game tells you how many missile packs there are. It tells you right from the start how many of X thing there is for you to pick up. So it's kind of nice for a completionist. And as you go through the game and you get XP and you level up, once you hit like level 20, not only is the full map probably already been revealed at this point, but it also shows you where all the pickups are that you haven't found with little question marks. It doesn't tell you what they actually are until you go and grab them, but it tells you where the pickups are, which is great. It doesn't necessarily tell you how the best way of getting to them and what kind of things you'll need to do in order to get to them, but it shows you. That is probably 4-ish hours into the game though, depending on how fast you play. So I had a really good time with this playthrough, apart from one little thing, one incident, because there's always one instance, isn't there? When I got to the command and control section of section B, I did the speed boost puzzle, and then I went down the elevator, and rather than following the blue line that helps you out, I just went straight down here, bashed my way through the door with some missiles, walked into this room, triggered a cutscene and an escape sequence, ran away, and then realised that I couldn't get back. So I missed the inertial elements, and I've put a nice big warning on my map so that you don't do the same thing, because it is really annoying. It is one of my least favourite things in a Metroidvania ever, to have something that you didn't know was going to lock you out of a thing happen that stops you from getting your 100% item completion. I thought it would also lock me out of 100% map completion, but you don't actually need to uncover the entire map to get 100% map completion. I have no idea how the map completion statistic works, but if you uncover enough of it, it'll count up to 100%. It's very, very strange. I mean, there's a room down here which even zoomed out like this, you can see just says death. You can't uncover those 2 squares, as far as I know, unless the fusion helmet lets you get through. I didn't try. But yeah, it's just instant death. down there. So anyway, this has got all of the bits and pieces on. It's got all the missile pickups, all the foam pickups, all the grenade pickups. It's got all of the abilities. It's got all of the pass keys. They're all numbered as well in the order that I found them in my YouTube playthrough of the game, which is just a single video. All of these things are time-stamped if for some reason you find them difficult to find. It is not a challenging game, especially if you play on casual like I did, just for some kind of cathartic fun. The one thing that I have done, or two things that I have done differently to what the game does. First of all, you'll see watery sections marked on. These aren't marked on the in-game map in any way, shape or form, but you've got watery sections. So if when you get the kind of scuba mask, you want to know, where can I go back to? That gives you a kind of a clue as to where to go. And one of the things that the game does mostly well, but not 100% well, is that it marks on a lot of doors in different colours for what you need to use to get through them. But it only marks doors. It doesn't mark hatches. It doesn't mark little vents. It doesn't mark X, Y, or Z in terms of how to get through these things. So, for example, purple doors on the map need the foam gun to get through the scanners. But there are also loads of little kind of purple vent fan things which you can blow up with the foam gun. They're not marked on the in-game map at all, but they are, I think for the most part, marked on here. Same goes for missile doors, same goes for places that you can blow up with grenades, hatches, doors, etc, etc, etc. Speed booster, friction dampener. It's just called speed booster. It's a shine spark thing, essentially. Like I said, the Super Metroid influence is very, very obvious. Those are marked on here as well, including a couple of places where actually it took me a little while to figure out how to do the necessary route for the speed booster. The speed booster in this game is actually really interesting because as I discovered, I'd forgotten this. As I discovered, I was running across this section here. And I accidentally jumped and flipped my character, and I thought I'd bugged the game out because I started running on the ceiling and then the wall and made my way up and over this cliff here to get this foam pack. It wasn't intentional at all, but it was like, I just thought I bugged it, but no, you can actually flip your orientation and run on the ceiling and walls and stuff, and you actually need to do it for a couple of the puzzles and reverse your direction or your orientation as you go, which I think was a really cool mechanic, and I'd completely forgotten about it. The foam gun is, I think, still one of the best things in a Metroidvania that I've ever used and played. It's great, and when you get to level 30, you get infinite foam, which means that on subsequent playthroughs you can just make really long bridges and stuff and skip a load of stuff. But I think that's basically all you need to know about this map. Everything is marked on little white squares with that's cut off. Little white squares. I'm glad I looked at the second monitor there. Little white squares with an M on are for where the map gets updated, because that happens as you play through the game. I really need to find a way of centering these things on the video better. At some point I'll figure something out. But yeah, there we go. Shadow Complex Remastered map coming at you in 2025, 16 years after the original game came out. Had a lot of fun with this. There's 4 difficulty modes in the game. I'd recommend playing on normal or hard for your first one. You could try playing on the insane difficulty the first time, but it is quite hard. I've never bothered, but I've watched a couple of people play it a few years ago. It's like, nope, not doing that, never doing that. That's not my cup of tea. But the game overall very much was. Thank you very much for watching. As always, you can find a free copy of this map with 50% resolution over at my website, www.demajen.co.uk. If you fancy typing in the whole thing, you could just do /Shadow Complex and it will take you straight to the Google Drive folder with this in. But otherwise, you can have a little browse of my website. It's had multiple updates recently with a load of quality of life features and so on and so forth. If you really love this game and you really love supporting me, you can also go to coffee.com/Demajen and pick up a supporter pack with this map in. That's available there as well if you really want it. It's at this scale. This is the scale I made the map at. Probably a little bit big for most people. That's what you'll get in the Google Drive. 50% scale. Again, probably still a little bit big, actually, considering it's a grid-based map. But it is what it is. It's there. Use it if you like. Support me if you like. I was very gratefully received, especially in the run-up till Christmas. But as I mentioned to somebody in a YouTube comment today, it's not low, quote-unquote, that I am charging for maps because I give out free ones all the time. And this one's got a free one. 95%, 98%, 99% of my maps have got free versions available. Just click on the links on my website. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Do let me know if you play Shadow Complex in 2025 or beyond. And if you use my map, it's always nice to hear when people have used your stuff and it helped them out. It gives me little warm, fuzzy feelings inside. And we like those. We like those a lot. Cheerio. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.